Stop! Don't sign those papers on a new $80,000 SUV. One failed turbocharger and you're bankrupt the day the warranty ends. But here's the thing. The smartest luxury buyers aren't buying new. They're buying 20-year-old Lexus models with 300,000 miles left in the tank on purpose. This is the pure gold list. The exact used Lexus models mechanics, taxi fleets, and road warriors buy with their own money. Overengineered, unkillable, dirt cheap. Let's dive in. The legend that started it all. 1995 to 2000, Lexus LS 400. Kicking off our pure gold list is the car that literally invented the entire luxury Lexus brand and honestly changed the automotive industry forever. I am talking about the 1995 through 2000 Lexus LS 400. And if you know anything about mechanics who actually put their money where their mouth is, you already know where this is going. When Toyota launched the LS 400 back in 1989, they didn't just want to build a nice car. They wanted to humiliate Mercedes-Benz and BMW on their own turf. Toyota engineers benchmarked the best luxury sedans in the world, then quietly beat every single one of them on quality, refinement, and reliability, all while charging thousands of dollars less. By the time you get to the second-generation models from 1995 to 2000, Toyota had years of real-world data, and they used it to build what many master techs consider the single most reliable luxury car ever mass-produced. Let's talk about the heart of this beast. Under the hood is the legendary one UZ-FE, a 4.0-liter naturally aspirated V8. This is not some stressed-out little Turbo 4 trying to punch above its weight class. This is a smooth, silky, over-engineered V8 that Toyota built with a timing belt, valve train, and internal tolerances so tight that these engines routinely blow past 300,000 miles with nothing more than oil changes and basic maintenance. There are documented LS 400s out there with 500,000 miles on the original engine and transmission. Let that sink in. In 2026, most new luxury sedans are lucky to make it to 150,000 miles before something catastrophic happens under the hood. The LS 400 was built during an era when Toyota's mission statement was basically, let's build something so reliable it embarrasses everyone else in the segment. Why the 1995 to 2000 window specifically? Because this is the second-generation LS 400, and it fixed almost every minor complaint from the first generation while keeping that legendary drivetrain completely untouched. You get a smoother ride, better sound insulation, and a more modern cabin, but underneath the skin, it's still that same bulletproof one, UZ-V8, mated to a 4-speed automatic transmission that mechanics call unburstable. These transmissions were built like a vault. No dual-clutch nonsense, no CVT belts stretching and slipping, just a simple, heavy-duty automatic that shifts like butter for decades. Step inside the cabin of a well-kept LS 400 from this era, and you'll immediately notice something modern luxury cars have completely lost: silence. Toyota engineers famously drove early prototypes on a track at 60 miles per hour and dropped a coin on the dashboard just to prove how quiet the cabin was. They used thick double-pane glass, aggressive sound deadening in the floor and doors, and a chassis so rigid it feels like you're piloting a bank vault on wheels. The leather is real, the wood trim is real, and the switchgear has this satisfying, damped click that you simply do not find in a modern economy-priced luxury interior. Here's the best part for your wallet. Because these cars are now 3 decades old, depreciation has done all its damage already. A clean, well-maintained LS 400 can be found for a few $1,000s, sometimes even less. You are getting a car that originally sold for the equivalent of $80,000 of today's dollars, and you're paying used Econobox money for it. The only things to watch for are rust in northern climates, since this generation wasn't the best at rust-proofing the rear subframe, and aging rubber components like motor mounts and suspension bushings that are cheap and easy to replace. Outside of that, this car is a mechanical time capsule of Japanese overengineering, and it belongs at the very top of our pure gold list. The Tank in a Tuxedo, 2003 to 2009. Lexus GX 470. Next on our pure gold list is the SUV that quietly became a legend among overlanders, mechanics, and anyone who actually understands what "built to survive the apocalypse" really means. I am talking about the 2003 to 2009 Lexus GX 470. Now, on the surface, this looks like a fancy suburban grocery getter. Leather seats, a smooth ride, a nice stereo. But underneath that plush Lexus skin is something almost nobody expects. The exact same body-on-frame chassis and suspension architecture as the legendary Toyota Land Cruiser Prado, one of the most respected off-road platforms on the entire planet. The engine here is the 4.7-liter 2 UZ-FE V8, naturally aspirated, no turbos, no complicated forced induction to fail on you 10 years down the road. This engine was engineered for durability first and horsepower second, and it shows. Mechanics who specialize in Toyota and Lexus products will tell you flat out that the 2 UZ-FE is one of the most abuse-tolerant V8s ever built. It shrugs off towing, it shrugs off high mileage, and with basic maintenance, it routinely sails past 250,000 to 300,000 miles without a major repair. Pair that with a genuinely bulletproof 5-speed automatic transmission and Toyota's legendary full-time 4-wheel drive system with a locking center differential, and you have an SUV that can tackle a snowy mountain pass on Monday and glide silently to the opera on Friday night. Why the 2003 to 2009 window? Because this is the entire first generation of the GX, and Toyota didn't make any major changes to the drivetrain the whole run, which means every single model year in this window shares that same proven 2 UZ-FE V8 and rock-solid transmission. By 2006, Lexus refreshed the styling and added a few more comfort features. So if you want the sharpest-looking version with the same bulletproof mechanicals, look for a 2006 to 2009 model. But even the early 2003 examples are just as mechanically sound underneath. Here's the pro tip that separates smart buyers from everyone else. Most GX 470s came with Lexus's kinetic dynamic suspension system, an air suspension setup similar to what you'd find on a full-size Land Cruiser. On high-mileage examples, these systems can develop leaks that are expensive to fix. Smart buyers either find one with the factory height-adjustable air suspension still in good working order and documented maintenance, or they budget for a conversion to a simpler coil-based setup down the road. Either way, this is a known quantity, not a mystery problem, and any competent independent shop can sort it out for a fraction of what a modern SUV's electronic nightmare would cost you. Inside, the GX 470 gives you real wood trim, thick leather, and a driving position that lets you see over almost everything else on the road. The cabin is insulated well enough that you genuinely forget you're sitting on top of a truck frame designed to survive the harshest conditions on Earth. Mechanics love working on these because the engine bay is refreshingly simple compared to modern turbocharged SUVs buried in plastic covers and sensors. Parts are shared with the Land Cruiser and Toyota's global truck lineup, which means availability is excellent and prices are shockingly reasonable. If you want a luxury SUV that will still be running strong when your grandkids are old enough to drive, the GX 470 is pure, indestructible gold. Quick side note, most car problems come from small things people overlook. I put together a simple longevity guide based on everything I've learned, and it walks you through exactly what to watch for. It's linked in the description below. The Rebel with Reliability, 2006 to 2013, Lexus IS 250, or IS 350. Moving into our third pick, we're going after the car that proved Lexus could build something with genuine sporting DNA without sacrificing an ounce of reliability. I'm talking about the 2006 to 2013 Lexus IS 250 and IS 350, specifically targeting clean examples from the middle of that run, around 2008 to 2010, once Lexus had ironed out every early bug. This is the car that took direct aim at the BMW 3 Series, and unlike most Japanese attempts to out-German the Germans, Lexus actually pulled it off. And they did it while keeping the reliability numbers that made the brand famous in the first place. Under the hood, you've got a choice between two engines depending on trim, both of them naturally aspirated V6s with a reputation for being nearly unkillable. The IS 250 uses a 2.5-liter V6, and the IS 350 steps up to a 3.5-liter V6, pushing around 300 horsepower. Neither one relies on a turbocharger, which means no wastegates to fail, no intercooler pipes to crack, and no boost-related stress cooking your engine internals prematurely. These are the same basic engine family Toyota and Lexus use across dozens of models worldwide, which means decades of proven design and an enormous parts network keeping repair costs shockingly low. Why does this matter so much in 2026? Because right now, most compact luxury sports sedans on the new car market are running small turbocharged 4-cylinders that are constantly working overtime just to deliver acceptable performance. Those engines run hot, they run stressed, and when something goes wrong, the repair bills are eye-watering. The IS 350's naturally aspirated V6 just spins smoothly to redline, delivers a genuinely satisfying exhaust note, and does it all while sipping regular maintenance costs that wouldn't scare a college student. Rear-wheel drive was standard on most trims, giving you that classic balanced sports sedan feel that front-wheel drive competitors simply cannot replicate. And Lexus backed it up with a suspension tuned firm enough to be genuinely fun in the corners, but still comfortable enough for a daily commute. Mechanics love these cars because Toyota's global reliability engineering runs straight through the IS line. You're not buying some low-volume boutique performance car with parts sourced from 3 different countries. You're buying a Toyota-engineered sports sedan wearing a luxury badge, and that combination is pure gold for anyone who actually wants to drive their car for the next 15 years instead of trading it in every 3. Inside the cabin, you get supportive sport seats, a driver-focused cockpit layout, and build quality that puts most modern entry-level luxury interiors to shame. The materials feel substantial. The buttons have real resistance and real feedback. And because these cars have already taken their biggest depreciation hit, you can find a clean, well-maintained IS 350 for a fraction of what a comparable German sports sedan would cost you without inheriting a European electrical nightmare waiting to happen at 80,000 miles. All right, before we get to number 4 and 5, if you're loving this list so far, do me a favor. Hit that like button, drop a comment telling me which Lexus on this list you'd actually buy today, subscribe if you haven't already, and make sure you click that notification bell so you don't miss the next one. It genuinely helps this channel keep making videos like this one, and I read every single comment. Now, let's keep going, because the next 2 picks might be the smartest luxury purchases on this entire list. The crossover that changed everything, 2004 to 2009, Lexus RX 330 or RX 350. Coming in at number 4 is the crossover that quietly became the default choice for anyone who wanted Lexus luxury with zero drama. I'm talking about the 2004 to 2009 Lexus RX 330 and RX 350. This was the vehicle that basically invented the modern luxury crossover segment, and by the time this second-generation model hit showrooms, Lexus had perfected the formula so completely that these things are still running strong on suburban roads across the entire country 2 decades later. The magic here is under the hood. The RX 330 uses a 3.3-liter V6, and starting in 2007, the RX 350 upgraded to a 3.5-liter V6, pushing 270 horsepower. Both are naturally aspirated, both are built on Toyota's globally proven V6 architecture, and both are famous for being able to shrug off 200,000, even 300,000 miles with nothing more than routine oil changes and basic upkeep. There's no turbocharger stressing the internals, no complicated hybrid battery pack to worry about on the standard gas models. Just simple, honest, naturally aspirated power delivered through a smooth 5-speed automatic transmission that mechanics consider one of the most durable gearboxes Toyota has ever built. Why this specific window? Because 2004 to 2009 represents the complete second generation of the RX, and Toyota used this generation to fix every minor complaint from the original RX 300 while keeping the drivetrain fundamentally simple and reliable. By 2007, you get the more powerful 3.5-liter engine and a mild styling refresh. So if you want the sharpest look with the most power, hunt for a 2007 to 2009 model. But even the earlier 2004 to 2006 RX 330s are mechanically just as sound. Here's what makes this crossover pure gold for real-world ownership. Unlike some of its German competitors from the same era that came loaded with complicated air suspension, adaptive dampers, and electronic nightmares waiting to strand you on the side of the highway, the RX 330 and RX 350 mostly stuck with conventional strut-based suspension. That means no 4-figure air suspension repair bills, no mysterious electronic gremlins draining your bank account, just a comfortable, quiet ride that costs next to nothing to maintain over the long haul. Inside, you get that signature Lexus hush. Thick glass, dense sound deadening, and a cabin that isolates road noise so well that owners routinely compare highway cruising in these things to floating on a cloud. The seats are wrapped in genuine leather that holds up remarkably well over time. The wood trim is real, not some plastic film pretending to be wood grain, and the switchgear has that same satisfying, damped feel found throughout the entire Lexus lineup from this era. Parts availability is fantastic since this V6 and transmission combo was shared across multiple Toyota and Lexus models worldwide, meaning any independent mechanic can service this crossover without charging you dealership prices. If you want a luxury SUV that will handle school runs, road trips, and everything in between without ever leaving you stranded, the RX 330 and RX 350 earn their spot on the pure gold list without question. The flagship that never forgot its roots, 2007 to 2012 Lexus LS 460. Now we're stepping into the big leagues for our final pick. If the LS 400 was the car that put Lexus on the map, this is the car that proved Lexus could still build a genuine flagship decades later without losing an ounce of that founding obsession with reliability. I'm talking about the 2007 to 2012 Lexus LS 460. Usually, when someone tells you to buy a used full-size luxury flagship, your wallet starts sweating before the engine even turns over. But the LS 460 flips that entire script. This is widely considered by master technicians and longtime Lexus owners to be one of the most dependable full-size luxury sedans ever built. Full stop. Under that long, elegant hood sits a 4.6-liter, naturally aspirated V8, producing around 380 horsepower, engineered with the same fanatical attention to durability that built the brand's reputation in the first place. This engine isn't chasing turbocharged headlines, it's chasing longevity. It delivers power in this smooth, effortless wave that makes highway cruising feel almost silent. And it's mated to an 8-speed automatic transmission that, at the time, was genuinely groundbreaking technology, yet has proven remarkably trouble-free over the years when properly maintained. Why the 2007 to 2012 window specifically? because this represents the complete first generation of this chassis, and Lexus used those early years to work out any teething issues while keeping the fundamental engineering rock solid throughout the run. By the later years in this window, you're getting a fully mature version of the platform with updated technology and styling tweaks, all while retaining that same proven V8 and transmission combination underneath. Step inside an LS460 and you immediately understand what the phrase flagship actually means. This is a car engineered to compete directly with the German Big Three, and in many ways, it simply outclassed them on refinement and long-term reliability. You get double-paned acoustic glass, cabin insulation so thick that outside noise practically disappears, and a level of fit and finish where every panel gap is measured to the millimeter. The leather is thick and supple, the wood trim is genuine, and even years later, the cabin still feels like it belongs in a car worth 3 times what you'll actually pay for one on the used market today. Here's the real gold factor. This car originally cost well over $70,000 brand new. Today, thanks to depreciation doing its worst work, you can find a clean, well-maintained LS460 for a small fraction of that original price. You are getting genuine flagship engineering, a naturally aspirated V8 with a track record of crossing 200,000 miles without major issues, and a level of luxury that modern buyers are paying enormous monthly payments to access in a brand new car. Mechanics love the LS460 because despite all its technology, the core mechanical components were built with the same over-engineered mindset as the original LS 403 decades earlier. This is a car that wasn't designed to survive a 3-year lease. It was designed to be a flagship that lasts. When you drive a well-kept LS460, you're not just driving a used car, you're driving proof that Lexus never actually abandoned the philosophy that built the brand in the first place. So let's bring this all back around. At the very start of this video, I told you that master mechanics and long-term owners actually put their own money into these exact models, and now you've seen exactly why. From the LS400 that started it all with 500,000-mile engines to the GX470 that hides Land Cruiser toughness under a luxury badge, to the IS350 that proved Lexus could build a genuine sports sedan without sacrificing dependability, to the RX330 and RX350 that perfected the modern luxury crossover, all the way up to the LS460. Flagship that carries the torch of that original bulletproof philosophy into the modern era. Every single car on this list shares one thing in common. They were engineered by people who cared more about the car still running perfectly at 250,000 miles than they cared about squeezing out one more headline horsepower number. That's the entire secret. While everyone else is out there signing up for $1,000 monthly payments on cars stuffed with fragile turbocharged engines and complicated electronics that are practically guaranteed to fail right after the warranty runs out. The smart money is quietly buying these 5 Lexus models, driving them in total comfort, and sleeping perfectly fine at night knowing their car is pure, indestructible gold. And that right there is what this channel is all about. Finding the cars that actually deserve your hard-earned money instead of the ones that just look good in a showroom for 3 years before falling apart. If this video helped you rethink what used luxury car actually means, do me a favor and hit that like button right now. It genuinely makes a massive difference for this channel. Drop a comment down below and let me know which one of these 5 Lexus models you'd park in your own driveway. Or if you own one already, tell me your mileage, because I read every single comment and I love hearing your stories. If you're new here, welcome to the family. Hit that subscribe button and click the notification bell so you never miss a video, because we've got a lot more of these pure gold lists coming your way, covering everything from American muscle to Japanese workhorses and everything in between. And if you want to see which cars you should be running away from instead, click on the video right on your screen right now, because trust me, that list is just as important as this one. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.